so I can probably clean that one up and save it. Oh, the main caps on this one did not go in the way they came out. I numbered the way they came out, and there's already numbers stamped on them. Then there's ping marks stamped in them, or pinged in them. And the way they came out contradicted both of the other sets of numbers. There was three sets of numbers on there. One of them I did the way it was, and then two more sets. One was factory, one was by a builder. So the third guy, whoever rebuilt this the last time, put the main caps on in the wrong order. That's why all the bearings were kind of a little unhappy. It wasn't bad, but I put them in the order that all the numbers were stamped and all the pings were stamped in, which was completely not the order they was in when it came apart, and checked all the clearances with plastic gauge. Everything checked out exactly like it should, so it didn't hurt anything. I think I caught it in time. This engine was rebuilt, and I don't think it was ran a whole lot. So wasn't any ring reds in it. The bearings looked pretty good, decent, you know, not great, but not bad. So yeah, this thing's a success. But yeah, that block under there, the main caps were in the wrong order, and it had 3 spun main bearings. The center 3 was spun, and then 6 spun rod bearings. Which obviously, you spin the main bearings, it's going to cut off all the oil from the rods. So I mean, it just makes sense why it self-destructed. But it ran great. Didn't hardly even make a noise. You know, you get it at a certain RPM, you hear it knocking. So I drove around the block a couple times and it started knocking. So that block's trashed. I'm gonna have to get it lined, board, and you know, get different bearings for it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. That's just sitting over there. It's a good block, good engine. Just the mains are destroyed on it. So one of these days I'll have to send that to the machine shop, get it cleaned up. I might build something out of that. But for right now, you know, trying to get this going. It's already gutted, so it's easy. All I got to do is build it. I mean, the whole inside of it pretty much gutted. There ain't nothing in here. I left the door panels. So yeah, I will all I gotta do is put a battery in this to fire it up and change the carburetor. So I'll put it, I got some different carburetors. I'll get one. I mean, they're all junk, but I'll get one at least will run good enough to put on that thing. I got a good carburetor for it, and I can't bolt it up because the accelerator pump hits the manifold both in the front and in the back, and you can't even set the carburetor on there. I'm gonna have to get a spacer for it, and then I could run that carburetor. But you know, this engine, like I said, it's just sitting there, so I don't even know what I'm doing with it yet. I had an idea, but I don't know, I'm really extremely hard on stuff. It starts raining and gets muddy, and I like to go mudding, and I'm hard on stuff. You know, that engine that's in the 4-wheel drive now is eating mud 3 times. This carburetor was on it when it ate mud the last time. And actually that new quick fuel carburetor I got on it ate mud once. Just because you get it in the mud and you get mud coming up towards a little bit over the valve covers, and it'll splash up on the breather and just saturate the breather, and then it sucks it into the carburetor, and then it just drinks water and mud. Like, here's a good example. Here's a smaller air filter I had on it, and this one wasn't so bad. It got, actually I could somewhere that, yeah, okay, yeah, it sucked itself in right here. And it just pulled that in and got everything all nasty. And I've had a couple more do that. I'm running these bigger style filters now. Like, them are like $3 a piece, man. You go to Napa, you can get 3 of these filters for 10 bucks. But that's what I'm running out of. They're 14 by 3, I think is what they are. But pretty decent air filters. And what I like about them is they got metal screens on the inside and the outside. So they suck themselves shut, but they don't suck themselves in. And the engine drinks less mud and water. So I don't really know any solution other than to put a snorkel on that 4-wheel drive and put it in the cab with me. Because every time I go mudding in that daggone thing, I'm eating mud with it. It's just sucking it right through that breather into the engine I just built, and it's irritating. I know it's not good for it, but it's so much fun you can't not do it. It's mostly the deep water I'm going through more than the mud, I think. The mud would be fine. It's just all that deep water. And yeah, so that's a spare engine for the 4-wheel drive. Can't put it in the ton truck because it's a one-piece rear main seal, and I don't have any flywheels for the one-piece rear main seal. All I got is flex plates, so that's an automatic transmission only engine. I need to put the engine back in that black S10. I just took the engine and transmission out of that black S10. Changing directions on a few things. Obviously, this was going to be the fun and fast little truck. I mean, if I put a supercharger on that thing, boy, it'd be really wild. But or I could put the 427 I got in the shed, put the 427 in here with the blower on it, take it to a drag strip, destroy that transmission. So I don't know. I got like a bunch of small block Chevy stuff. What's awesome is people's doing this LS engine thing. Everybody wants the LS engine, so these small block Chevys are just getting easy to find, and they're super cheap, you know. You can get a running small block from the junkyard for like 200 bucks. You know, you just got to pull it out yourself and everything. I like to get them I like to get them and rebuild them and put good parts in them. It's kind of what I like to do. But, yep. So, I guess that's enough of this video. My camera's getting really hot in my hand. I got a new camera. And I tell you, for a new camera, the battery sure doesn't last very long on it. I'm going to have to get some kind of external battery for it or something. But it records like 4K video at 60 frames per second. So it's way better than the 720p I've been shooting with. And it'd be fun if I ever do go back to a drag strip or something like that, mounting it up and using it, because it's definitely takes a wide angle shot, which is good and bad for certain things. But yeah, I got some new lights going on, if y'all ain't noticed yet. Yeah, these things are really cheap. You get like 24 of them for 120 bucks or something like that. They're really cheap, and I like them. I put some up under here and got some on the walls. I ain't done yet. I'm gonna put another 2, you know, one on each post on the back, and because I got 3 left, and the last one I'm probably just gonna put a longer cord on it and make it like a shop light, make it where I could just throw it under the vehicle and use it as a work light. Anyway, there's you guys a long, boring, rambling video about nothing really. So a lot of people's been wanting an update. I've been super busy. You can look around and tell I've been keeping busy. I'm getting ready to build a 327 for a buddy of mine too here, starting in a day or so. So yep, gotta keep at it. So y'all take it easy, and I will see you in the next one.